AI search is here and it's not going anywhere. Getting your law firm visibility in platforms like ChatGPT and Perplexity is a massive opportunity for you right now in the future, especially if you get on this early, because it's not on the radar of a lot of firms, and it's one of the most impactful things that you can do in terms of getting visibility and new leads for your law firm. So let's talk about exactly how to do that. In the previous video, I talked a lot about what GEO is, which is essentially AI SEO. In this video, I'm going to talk exactly how and the differences between SEO and GEO and how your law firm can start optimizing for that. So on the left-hand side here, I'm going to have kind of the traditional SEO ranking factors and then comparing and contrasting that with what it takes to show up in AI search. So starting on the left-hand side here, and this is also focused on local queries, right? Because as a law firm, you're bound by state, and also more importantly, the queries are happening locally, right? So like AI search is already happening with local queries inside of it, so this can compare and contrast the local side of things, but it also encompasses all of SEO as well. So traditionally, for Google optimization here, we're talking about optimizing your Google business profile, categories, services, reviews, photos, etc. Still remains true for ranking in Google Maps Pack. It's tied to your Google business profile, so understandably so that Google business profile is an important ranking factor there. But when it comes to AI search, building entity authority, Wikidata, LinkedIn, Crunchbase, bar associations, essentially what that means is that there's other things that ChatGPT is looking at to really rank and surface you in AI search aside from your Google business profile. Now, I showed you a screenshot in the previous video of Google search results for local, and then also what that local search result looks like for ChatGPT as well. They both have that Maps Pack, right? The good thing about ChatGPT is it's using a lot of this data, right? It's actually still ranking a lot of Google business profiles, but there's a lot of other factors. The results aren't the same. If you were to Google car accident attorney near me in Google and in ChatGPT, you're gonna see slightly different results. And the reason is because ChatGPT is pulling in other stuff too, aside from just a Google business profile. It wants to see that you are an authoritative, real, active business, right, in your local market. So again, things like bar associations, your LinkedIn profile, Wikidata, these are all additional entity citations that ChatGPT uses. Not a whole lot of effort to do that stuff, especially if you're a real law firm. It doesn't take that much work. So back over here on the Google side, so citations in directories like Yelp, FindLaw, Avvo, these are things that we've always done for our clients. These are things that help Google also to understand that you are a relevant, authoritative local business. Again, a lot of the same overlap here when it comes to language, but ChatGPT is also looking very heavily at mentions in trusted sources like local news, Better Business Bureau, chamber, nonprofit. So again, when we look at these two things here too, any SEO would tell you like, yeah, Ryan, those are also important local SEO factors. They're not going to hurt that, but you're able to rank in the Google Maps Pack without necessarily doing these, but these help immensely in ChatGPT. And what's cool about ChatGPT is you can ask it, right? So like one of the ways that we're learning a lot about AI SEO or GEO is by having conversations with these platforms. So when we type in car accident attorney near me, you can keep on querying, like, tell me exactly what you're looking at when you rank this firm versus that firm, right? And it will tell you, it's like, oh, well, firm A, has a lot of local news coverage, and it will show you all the local news coverage. It'll be like they have no complaints on their Better Business Bureau, like these other law firms aren't even featured there, right? So like, again, it's also not just like checking a box like local SEO traditionally, it's also being active and doing these things on a regular basis. Local news mentions are super huge, like going out and finding local publications that you can sponsor posts on, that you can get featured in. Very, very, very big ranking factor in AI search, and it will also help you in local SEO as well. So traditionally we talk about reviews on your Google business profile, right? I know you know that. It's a focus of pretty much every law firm right now is getting reviews on their Google business profile, but ChatGPT loves reviews on other platforms too. They love Yelp reviews. Why? Well, because if you go to Google right now and type in car accident attorney Miami, you're gonna see firms that have like 5,000 reviews. If we back that out real quick, in order for you to get 5,000 reviews, we talk about like at best a 10% success rate, meaning 1 out of 10 clients will leave you a review. You're talking about what, 50,000 cases? That's no, right? A lot of those reviews are fake is what I'm telling you, right? It's easy to get Google fake reviews. AI knows that, right? AI is very, very intelligent. Not that Google doesn't know that too. It does ignore a lot of those as well, but they still accept them, and it plays into, click-through rates and stuff like that. But Yelp reviews are very hard to get. Yelp reviews are much more stringent, and there's much less of them too. So if you think about yourself as a consumer and you're going through this process of looking for an attorney, and you see, a firm has 5 Yelp reviews, 50 Yelp reviews versus 0, those are going to play in more than all those reviews, because people aren't dumb, and AI search is especially not dumb. So getting reviews on as many platforms as possible, and I know that's hard because you're already stretched thin, but there's ways that we help our clients divert those automatically to other platforms to get them as well. So when it comes to Google, service area pages with schema. So in other words, every single location that you have an office should also have every single practice area page, and it should be built technically structured and sound. What we also want to do in ChatGPT search is structured factual content, so FAQs, guides, lists, local stats. Again, a lot of this stuff you'd say, well, I've been doing that for local SEO or local SEO in the past, creating blog content. Yes and no, it's a different type of content, because if you think about how people are using ChatGPT, it's conversational. So another thing too is getting off of like keyword structured content to conversational based content. If you were going through, and it's a lot of this stuff is just kind of, I don't want to say common sense, but it's putting yourself in the shoes of your prospective client. If you were going through the divorce process, the car accident process, the business partner dispute process, what would you be not just asking, right, like queries, but it's like what would be on your mind? Like, what are all these different things that you would want to know to educate yourself with before making the decision to hire or speak to an attorney, right? Like, that's the type of information that we want to put on your website. Those don't necessarily directly influence the citations, but it's going to influence the LLM database that services that content, even if there's no link to your website. And then if and when they query, right, then ChatGPT will use that information related to your website and serve you as a citation. So it's almost like pre-preparing or giving free advice without getting credit for it until they get all the way down to the bottom of the funnel. So content is making a very, very big comeback, but how we structure and format that content is incredibly important, because it's not just like personal injury attorney Miami, right? It's understanding all the different nuances of what somebody's really looking for when they're going through that process and creating that content for the website. Again, local backlinks here. You notice this too, right? I told you there's a lot of overlap here. So just getting straight backlinks, a backlink meaning a website mentions you, but also includes a link to your website. That's very important for Google ranking and optimization. Google reads and understands those links and accredits them and attributes them to your website. But what's really important in ChatGPT, yes, this helps. Yes, this is important, but ChatGPT is also looking at a lot more stuff. It's looking at cross-brand visibility, YouTube, podcasts, social profiles. Again, it wants to see that you are an active, popular business, right? So does that mean you have to start a podcast? No, it doesn't, right? Because most of your competitors are not doing that. It's not really going to surface that information, but is it going to help you? Yeah, absolutely. It's also going to help you to generate more content like this, right? So AI is also pulling through a lot of YouTube content into search results that tells you that videos are important, right? So again, holistically, we're talking about rounding out your law firm and just turning you into more of an active, relevant business here. There's a lot of overlap that you see here, but there's also nuances to it too that we have to add in to take into account if we do want to rank in AI search platforms as well as Google. So let's talk about ranking factors that matter in AI search. So one, entity validation. Again, this is also tying into traditional SEO factors, but just giving you an extra nuance. And this is also what I was talking about here too, in terms of the Google map result that's pulling through in ChatGPT. Some of these are Google business profiles, right? Some of them are not, which is kind of interesting. So it's just using all this data and aggregating it. The Google stuff is still very important. It's going to help you to do this, but again, there's nuances. So number one, entity validation. Is the firm recognized in multiple authoritative places, link, bar association, Wikidata, BBB, any legal platform that that's like accredited and validated, you want to have a profile there, even if you have to pay for it, it's definitely worth it. Structured content. Does the website provide direct factual answers to client questions, Q&A, stats, step-by-steps? Stats are important too, right? Like if you're a DUI lawyer, like what are DUI statistics in Miami, Florida, checkpoints, etc. Case results are also really, really important. It's actually kind of crazy. Like I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours querying ChatGPT to understand what a lot of these factors are. And they're pulling a lot of case results too. So like case wins should always be on your website. And if you can get those also cited in other platforms, even better, right? So if other websites or media talk about legal wins, or you can get quoted talking about a win for a case that you have, amazing, huge. You want to do that. Review diversity, right? So not just Google, but across platforms, especially Yelp, especially Avvo, FindLaw, Superlawyers, all those legal specific platforms, you want to try and get diversity of reviews there. Trusted mentions. Are you mentioned in local media associations, nonprofits? So getting back to doing those scholarship links on .edus, any sort of local sponsorship that you can do that will give your firm a mention, right? A lot of firms that are doing a lot of like really good out-of-home, not out-of-home advertising like billboards, but anything that's on the web. So like local publications, any sort of sponsorships for local events that include a page that mentions your law firm and links to your law firm and cites your law firm. Extremely, extremely important and extremely powerful. Again, this is going to help you out with SEO, but it's especially going to help you out with GEO as well. And then cross-platform presence. Does your law firm exist beyond Google Business Profile, video, podcasts, social, community events? Again, I'm not saying that you have to go nuts starting a podcast here and doing it every single day, but the more that you do, the better that you're going to perform. And what's beautiful about this too is that, like, I know it's a lot of work, y'all. I know it is. I do this myself. I'm in a studio here on a Tuesday morning. I get how much work this takes. You don't have to educate me about how much work marketing is. I get it. I live it. I breathe it. But like, this is only going to help your business be better, because this is where algorithms are moving. They don't want to show a backdoor business that has no reputation, no reviews. All of these are just trust signals is really what it comes down to. And this is what you should be doing to market your business. So when we talk about getting off of the agency hamster wheel or getting off of spending a ton of money on Google Ads, this is how you do it. You build an actual business. Sorry, it's a lot of work, but it's important and it's going to pay dividends for you if you're willing to put in the time and effort to do it. So this is the graph that I was talking about in terms of the overlap between SEO and GEO. So on the left-hand side, we've got the traditional SEO factors: technical SEO, backlinks, local SEO, website content and reviews, right? GEO over here, entity recognition, LLM prompt coverage, the FAQ, conversational content is what you can call it, presence in LLM training data, mentions and trusted sources, and then freshness. Also, AI loves fresh content. Not that Google doesn't either, but when you combine these things, right, like what you start to see is a more centralized process, more of a backbone type process, if you will, that can be used for both. So high quality content, very, very important. Domain authority and trust, very, very important. Relevance to legal topics across your website and across other online platforms as well, podcasts, videos, press mentions, etc. And then brand reputation and credibility. So we talk about link building, we talk about local press coverage, we talk about sponsorships, we talk about being on BBB, we talk about being on as many different legal publications as possible, either as an author, as a profile, as a sponsor, whatever it takes, right? These are the things that these platforms are using, right? And Google's done this traditionally in the past too, but now these AI search platforms, I don't want to say they're more intelligent, because Google is an incredibly intelligent algorithm as well, but SEO is a little bit more of like a linear process. This is more of like a web, right? There's just a lot of things and we want to be in as many places as possible. And a lot of that is just building a lot of content that we can then use to distribute across platforms, whether that's video, whether that's press, whether that's sponsorships. It all kind of also comes down to content as well. So look, we do this. We do this for ourselves. We have a tremendous amount of success. We do this for our clients as well. If you want us to do an audit of your law firm to show you how you're showing up in AI search, there is a link to my calendar beneath this video. It will take you to a booking slot and I'll do a free audit for you. I'll look at your entire search presence. I'll look at how you're showing up in Google. I'll do an audit of that, and also how you're showing up in AI search, and do an audit of that, and then put together a plan for you to show you exactly how we can help you to show up across search platforms and get more traffic, get more leads, and most importantly, get more clients. So hit the link below, and I'll talk to you soon.